Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So if you look in Deuteronomy chapter 11, beginning with verse 13, this is very familiar to your average Jew who recites the Shema, that is the Hero Israel prayer, every day. In fact, this is the second chapter of that recital. This is the second paragraph. So it's very common and it's on the mind. But really, sometimes what happens, because you say something so often, in fact, it loses its vigor. It sometimes loses its power because we don't pay enough attention to it, because it's not something exciting. It's not something new. So I want to take this opportunity to look at it. And really by reading just the first two verses, this would raise and bring up a very, very fundamental question. And this, in fact, is not the only place where this question would come up, and the answer is the same answer to all. You see, it begins with saying, and it shall come to pass, it shall be, if you listen to my commandments, you follow my commandments, which I command you today, which is to love God, to serve him with all your heart and all your soul. So now God says you're going to follow my wishes. You're going to do what I want you to do. This is all very spiritual. You can connect to me. You're going to love me. Love is something spiritual. Love God, serve God, worship God. These are all spiritual things. Ooh, you know what's going to happen, says God? If you do so, verse 14, I'm going to give the rain in the correct time, and it's going to come down in the right manner, and then you're going to be able to do the harvest. You're going to have a plentiful harvest, and the vineyards and the olive trees will all give their best. And then it continues giving how everything will be wonderful. Materially, it doesn't say anything like, wow, if you try to get close to me, I am going to give you this spiritual hug. I'm going to give you a spiritual kiss. I'm going to love you back. Fantastic. And it makes sense. It's comparable. One fits the other. If you're going to be spiritual, you're going to serve me, I'm going to connect to you spiritually. How does this make sense? That the reward for these spiritual endeavors is material goodies? Does that seem to make sense? Doesn't to me. Well, the answer is as follows. What God is saying is not that this is your reward. We're not talking about the reward. Obviously, the reward for something spiritual is to receive great spiritual reward in return. That is obvious. That's clear. That doesn't even have to be said. What God is saying here is, when you establish yourself, when you prove to me that your true desire is to serve me, to fulfill all the commandments, and how do I know that that is the case? You're going to prove it to me by your actions, by the way you behave, by the trend that you set up, that you establish, that is, and continuously serve me, then I will provide for you all your material needs in order to enhance your ability to serve me even more, in order to give you a greater opportunity to do more and more and more mitzvot. This is actually an answer which answers every time the same question that could be asked throughout the entire Torah, where it seems that God is rewarding us with material goodies for spiritual actions, for spiritual endeavor. The answer is, God says, you are in this world. I put you into this reality. The reality is that if you have the means, that is the material means, you have less distraction, less worry, and in fact, you have more ability to do more and more enhanced service of God, of helping others, of contributing, of doing every mitzvah in a more enhanced and beautified manner, and so on and so forth. And of course, the least worries you have in the material, the less you're distracted. The less you're distracted, the more you're available to serve God even better. So it's not a reward. It's just a matter of fact. And this is how God gives us, so to speak, I would call it on credit, when he sees that we sincerely want to serve him and to wish him and to and we would sincerely wish to help others, God provides us the material means for us to be able to do so easily and happily.